Hi, my name is Ryan Arthur. This workshop will be a gentle introduction to using models, theories, and data. This workshop will commence with a definition of models, theories, and data. This will be followed by looking at the relationship between models, theories, and data. And we'll end with a discussion about how to be analytical when using models, theories, and data. Alongside this video is the Models, Theories and Data workbook. This workbook consists of 6 sections. Each of these sections relate to the content in this video. After you have finished watching this video, please try to complete this workbook and bring it with you to our live session next week. Defining models. What is a model? A model is a representation. A model is a simplification of the real world. A model is a depiction. A model is an ideal type. A model is derived from the Latin word modus. Modus means a measurement. In essence, a model is a measurement of the world. Bringing all of this together, a model is a representation of a system or way of being. We use models to help us understand a situation or simulate an experience. We can call this tube map a model. The real world looks more like this. However, we created this tube map model to make things simple for us, to help us see the world more clearly. Models are usually illustrated. Models usually show steps, stages, or processes. In essence, models simplify a complex world by identifying its key elements. Models are essentially empty. A good example of this is Gibbs's reflective cycle. This model consists of 6 empty stages. Description: it is upon us to fill this category with a description. Feelings: we fill this category with our feelings. Evaluation, analysis, conclusion, and so on. All of these categories are empty. They require information. Defining theories. What is a theory? A theory is an explanation. A theory is a set of ideas intended to explain something. You are essentially asking why. Why did this happen? Why didn't this happen? It is derived from a Greek word which meant to contemplate and to speculate. So when we ponder, why did the Grenfell Tower fire occur? We are theorizing. When we ponder, why isn't the leadership of our university representative of the student population? We are theorizing. Why is my train always late? We are theorizing. Why is the COVID-19 rate escalating again? We are theorizing. We are seeking to know the why. Theories come in all shapes and sizes, weird and wonderful. Some are beneficial, some are problematic. For instance, the end of history theory is from a much older concept, but Fukuyama espoused its more modern form just months before the fall of the Berlin Wall. Fukuyama theorized that with the collapse of communism and fascism, there will be no longer any serious competition for liberal democracy and the market economy. The market would flourish, and we would all live happily ever after. The McDonald's theory suggests that no 2 countries that both have a McDonald's have ever fought a war against each other or are likely to fight a war against each other. The banking concept of education sees teaching and learning as an activity in which lecturers deposit knowledge in students. Students are just seen as a repository, where their primary duty is to remember the information provided by the lecturer. There is no dialogue or meeting of minds, but just one-way conversation. Unfortunately, this is present in most institutions. Institutional racism refers to patterns, procedures, practices, and policies that operate within public or private institutions so as to consistently penalize, disadvantage, and exploit individuals who are members of non-white racial/ethnic groups. This is just a taste of many theories out there. Defining data. For the purposes of this presentation, I have defined data very broadly. Data is a collection of information such as statistics, facts, measurements, observations, results, scholarly insights, or just descriptions of things. Data needs to be taken from reliable sources. For example, government websites, government reports, journal articles, etc. Now let's bring all of these definitions together, defining theories, models, and data. Models are representations of a system or a way of being. Theories are explanations. Data is a collection of information. Here are some examples of models, theories, and data. The relationship between models, theories, and data. Now that we have defined each of these things individually, we need to bring them together and show the relationship between models, theories, and data. The relationship between data, models, and theories is very important. This is because data alone is useless. Theories alone are useless. Models alone are useless. They all need dance partners. Data needs to dance with theory. Theory needs to dance with data. Data needs to dance with models, and models need to dance with data. This is because data supports a theory. A theory without data is just an opinion. Likewise, data fills up a model. Models are essentially empty. They need data, they need information. And in tandem, data needs theories and models to make sense. Data alone is just a collection of numbers. It's just a collection of facts. It's very descriptive. We need theories and models to help us make sense of what's going on, to help us make sense of what's happening. Here is an example of data supporting theory. In purple, we have the theory. Systemic racism is a form of racism that is embedded in higher education institutions. Then we have the crucial linking words in blue. This is evidenced by, it is crucial that we link our theory with the data, and these linking words do that job. This is evidenced by, and in red we have the data, we have the evidence to support our theory. Here are 3 more examples where I've used this pattern. The theory in purple, in blue is the linking words, and in red is where we start to bring our data. Here is an example of data filling up a model. In brown, we have the model, and this person has explained what the model is. It's always good to explain what the model is. Don't take it for granted that the person reading your work or the person marking your work is aware of the model. Always try to explain the model, whether you use all of it or just an aspect of it. Always try to explain the model. So in brown, we have an explanation of the model, and in blue, we have those crucial linking words, and in red, we see the data. And we can see a symbiotic relationship that is taking place between the model and the data. The data is reinforcing the model, and the model is giving shape to the data. Much of what we discussed has been descriptive. So in this last section, we'll move on to the analytical side of things, being analytical with models, theories, and data. There are 4 main ways of being analytical when using models, theories, and data. There may be more than 4, but these are the most common approaches. The first of which is what I call utopia. This is when you use a model as an ideal standard, as a gold standard. The second approach, a new perspective. This is when you use a model as a lens to look at a specific situation. Number 3, the shoe doesn't fit. This is when you critique a model because the data does not fully support the model. The data tells you something different than the model tells you. The last approach, and the most advanced approach, is what I call nip-tuck. This is when you tailor the theory or the model to suit your specific example. I will now go through each of these 4 ways in much more detail. The first approach is what I call the utopian approach. This is when you use a model as an ideal standard. A model of good practice is held up against real-world examples of bad practice. Be clear to state the reason why we need to move from this bad practice towards a particular model. Here are some examples. The second approach is a new perspective. This is when you use a model or a theory to look at a specific situation. The real world is too chaotic, it's too noisy, it's too anarchic, it's too complex, too multifaceted to analyze. So you use a model to simplify things, to create a sense of quiet. So this is why you're using a model or a theory to look at a specific situation. State the reason that you chose the model or theory. State the rationale behind you choosing the model or theory. You could have chose a million theories or a million models. Why did you choose that particular one? Or you could have used no models or no theories. What is the reasoning behind you choosing that particular model? Be very explicit. And make sure that you use the theory or the model over a long period of time, rather than just a paragraph. This is seen as very shallow. Rather, what the marker wants to see is deep engagement with that model or with that theory. And at master's level, it is expected that you engage in this type of higher order thinking by engaging with these models, engaging with these theories. Perhaps at undergraduate level, you could get away with just engaging with data, but at this level, you really need to engage with theories and models. Here are some examples. The third approach, the shoe doesn't fit. This is when you critique a model because the data does not fully support the model. Theories and models do not always adequately explain events that you observe. Thus, it is important to highlight areas of inaccuracies. Here are some examples. The last and most advanced approach is the nip-tuck. This involves you modifying the theory or model to suit your data. This is the most advanced approach because instead of just dismissing, critiquing, rebutting a theory or model, you spend that time modifying the model, refining the model, redefining the model. And also, you need to justify your modification of the theory or model. Why haven't you just left the theory as it is? Why didn't you just leave the model as it is? Why did you feel the need that you had to modify the theory or modify the model? So you need to spend some time justifying the reason why you did this. You need to spend some time explaining your rationale behind the need to modify the theory or model. Nip-tuck can be done in two ways. The first way is when you add or you omit an aspect of the theory or model to accommodate your data. So perhaps you feel that an addition or a deletion of an aspect of the theory or model will most resemble your data, because your data as it is, it doesn't resemble the theory or model 100%. Maybe it's 95%, maybe it's 90%. So you do that work with that 10% in order to make your data, your specific example, best fit the theory or best fit the model. Or you can refine the definition typology of a theory or model that most resembles your account. So perhaps the definition needs slight redefining. So maybe the definition is too general. So you try to make the definition much more specific. Or maybe the definition that you found is too specific, so you try to make it much more general. But you do that work in modifying and refining the theory or model. Here are some examples. Theories, models, and data are here to be adapted. Play around with them. Use them in interesting and varied ways. Practice makes perfect. We learn by doing, not just listening. Third, few things are concrete in academia. Theories, models, and data are prone to redefinition, refinement, and repurposing. Number 4, this is very important. Take ownership of your academic work. Don't just toe the line, be critical. And last but not least, in order to do any of this work, you need to read, then read some more. Everything that I have been through within this workshop is useless unless there's reading behind it. Thank you for listening. I hope to see you on Tuesday evening. Please bring your task sheets with you and let's have a great discussion.